I'm Jessica Rudnicki with Reynolds and Reynolds. Welcome back to Connected. Today, we're pleased to welcome back Casey Edwards, Vice President of Marketing at Reynolds and Reynolds, to talk about building a winning team in your dealership. Let's get connected. Casey, welcome back to the podcast. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
I've spoken to a lot of dealerships over the last couple of months, and they all seem to share the same sentiment and goals for 2021, which is they all want to operate more efficiently, have better communication among departments, and just overall improve processes so that they can be more profitable. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to you today, Casey, because we recently released a white paper on this topic and these goals that dealers have. And in that white paper, you discuss how to build a winning team and help dealers achieve that success. But for those in our audience today who maybe haven't had the chance to read it yet, when you say winning team, what exactly do you mean?
Sure. Winning team's kind of a big, broad statement. It probably means a lot of different things to a lot of people. Right now, in the heart of the NFL playoffs, it probably means you're a Packers fan or a Chiefs fan or something like that. But for the sake of our conversation today, I think we should talk about what winning in the dealership really looks like. Is it crushing your revenue goals or your unit goals? Is it increasing your RO count and service? I think we should step back, Jessica, and building a winning team, kind of think of it as less about a specific end result and more about your dealership wide approach to kind of three pieces. And what we've outlined is, your people, your process, and your technology that you use every day. Your people, your process, your technology. And none of that's wildly revolutionary, right? But usually when you really step back and evaluate your business, winning in a dealership usually pretty much boils down to those three key pieces.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And Casey, I can't really imagine really any business running smoothly if they don't have, the right employees, the right processes, or the right tools in place. And in the white paper, you mentioned this three-legged stool concept to help explain why these three pieces, the people, process, and technology, are so important to success. So talk to me about that. What's so special about a three-legged stool and why that comparison?
So, Jessica, the three legged stool is really just a simple kind of visual symbol or metaphor for organizational structure. You think about the legs on a stool representing, the principles or the support structures that prop up, your business or the seat. And while each leg is separate, they're all interconnected and they have to be balanced because guess what happens if you take a leg away?
The stool topples over.
Exactly. Right. So this idea or image of a three-legged stool is extremely useful in business because it can really help illustrate how people, how process, and how technology have to work in tandem together to keep our dealership running effectively. And if one of those pieces is missing or it's underdeveloped, your whole operation can be thrown off.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm like thinking this through my head as you're saying it, and it's really starting to come together for me because I can think back to when a grocery store chain was in business. They actually went out of business a few years ago, and why that might have been the case. And I remember that their checkout process was awful. The computers they used were antiquated and just very slow, and their employees really weren't very friendly. So I would agree with you that all of those three core components are absolutely critical to a dealership success.
Absolutely, a valid point, and it's equally relevant in automotive retail, right? If your customers think that your dealership is poorly run or they're slow to respond to their needs, you're not only going to lose out on revenue opportunity, but you can also suffer, long-term reputational issues and damage. So the only way to make sure you can sustain long-term profitability is really figuring out ways to balance these priorities and build them all up simultaneously. It's tough.
Well, it definitely sounds easy when you say it like that. But I'm going to ask for our dealers watching today, how do they do that all at once? So how is it achieved in practice?
Sure. I mean, again, it's a pretty big, lofty question, Jessica, but maybe a place to start is I'd encourage folks, in the dealership to ask yourself a few kind of basic questions, right? Am I using a system and my technology, is it built in a single platform with a single set of data throughout all departments and applications, right? Are my employees able to enter information, as an example, just one time and have it be instantly accessible across departments and applications? Are we providing all of our employees and our staff everything that they need and all the information at their fingertips to make good decisions? And we need to step back and ask big, broad questions like that, right? And look for answers that emphasize a seamless workflow between individuals and between departments. And when you get a workflow like that, it minimizes errors and eliminates a lot of duplication and costs, and it empowers people and serves customers. You can do that effectively all at the same time.
Well, that is great advice, Casey. So thank you for sharing that. While we have the audience today, any final thoughts on how to win in the dealership?
Sure. I mean, I would kind of reiterate, Jessica, that winning isn't a focus on any short-term result, but rather a shift in mindset to a dealership-wide approach that prioritizes kind of across the board improvement, right? If you really want to deliver peak performance day after day after day, you need to empower your employees to leverage technology and operate seamlessly with all of your processes effectively. And I think if you do those three things, if you figure out ways to balance those three things, you can build a really good long-term sustainable winning team.
Well, there you have it. Wonderful information. And Casey, thanks again for being here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Amazing tips from Casey on how to start identifying areas of opportunity in your dealership so you can start building a winning team. To learn more, check out our white paper, Balancing People, Processes, and Technology. As always, you can watch or listen to past and future podcast episodes on YouTube or Apple and Spotify podcasts by searching for the Connected Podcast. Subscribe on these channels to get notified every other Wednesday when new episodes are released. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks.